mange and flea dip. You need fertilizer. You need seeds that aren't from China.
Not just fertilizer. They'll give you the right blend for your needs. It's not just a bag of 2600. I mean, unless you needed that. You know what I mean?
Sure. They can do it.
Yep. They can do it all.
All kinds of butter urns. They got cattle prods, saddles. It's a cool place to go. I even saw the other day when I was in there, there's that little case. There's always that little case that sits right on the counter. And they had some Moore Maker knives in there, which are collectible and very fine tools that a lot of folks use. They had some of those right there on the counter. It's in my go-to list now. Instead of eating donuts, now I go places. I'm going to go back to Deerland Feed just to stroll through.
Well, later this month when you plant your fall garden, make sure you go get your seeds.
Some squash. 79 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of 94 under mostly sunny skies. Leading up to, supposedly, allegedly, a little rain tomorrow.
Of course.
Other than that, next week's supposed to be a sunny, hot week.
Adam Daughtry, first one in. The Iceman is in. Patrick Strauss, good morning. Karen Webb. Chris Conrad. Bobby Leister. We'll get to that
Karen Webb of Webb County.
Marvin Mickish, good morning. H.R. Mallory.
Nakush in the Russian alphabet. Yeah.
Cyrillic alphabet.
Cyrillic.
Bobby Leister and the Leisterometer still at 67. Lacey Marion, good morning.
We're going to do away with YouTube. Nobody watches it.
Greg Garcia, good morning to you. Judge Posey, have a good weekend as well. Natalie Mayer. Lacey Dearland Rosenquist, good morning. Keith Madden.
Hello, Keith Madden.
Larry Leahy checking in. Jimbo Slice, BJ Nelson, Christina Wise, Joe Mitchell. See who else is in this morning. There's Don Nicole checking in. Did I say Joe Mitchell?
Joe Mitchell.
Andy Rhea Jr., good morning. Lisa Poole. Trey Molina, Clint Ives.
Funky Trey Molina.
Good crowd to get things rolling on a Friday morning.
Yeah, I was worried
to be here.
Ash and I work in a world of routines. I mean, we come in the morning, and I know I realize sometimes you catch the last few seconds on the video. But some mornings we don't talk while we're here. I'm putting up the banner. He's setting up the laptop. I'm typing things into the iPad. We're getting the microphones set. We're doing the headphones. And as much as this is a lot of fun, there's a moment, there's about a 5-minute period where there's some work that's got to be done every day. But we get away with that brief silence because pretty much every morning between, no humor here, 6:27 and 6:29, one of us dials the other one. And we talk most of the way to the station. Did you see this? Did you see that? Did the Generals win? Did the Astros win? We do that daily. Well, this morning, I dialed at 6:27. I got nothing. I thought, okay, well, he's trying to get out the gate. He has a beautiful gate that's home linked to his vehicle by the VCS companies. And sometimes, honestly, I don't blame him. He likes to push the button and watch the gate open, and I let him have that moment. And the phone didn't.
It's the marvel of modern technology.
He didn't call me back, and he's got signal all the way to the 2-4. It's not like he goes through a dead spot like out there by Chubby's or out by the truck stop or by the rest area at Inez where you've got a dead spot.
Or by your place.
Or by my house. But I got no call back. So 6:28, I dial again, a little miffed. You're like, hey, man.
What's going on?
6:30, 6:34, I'm here. No Ash. And then it turns into, if that dude slept in and he didn't tell me, I'm going to be hot.
Well, let me give you my perspective. 6:28 rolls around. I try to call you. Hit the little button on my steering wheel, call Brent Carter. The phone is not paired to, I lost it at that point. Then I'm just looking around. I have the phone.
Right. Is that our phone ringing?
No, it's the one that doesn't go to the air, so we'll let it ring.
It's awful early for somebody to be calling here.
Jennifer Caslow checking in. Speaking of early, It's 5 o'clock in Seattle, and Jennifer's
Hey.
up.
Good morning, Jennifer. Did you get up to watch the riots? Good.
The glow from the fire at the Chaz.
It's hard to sleep out there at the Chaz. I know when it's windy and wet in Seattle. By the way, Boeing, no longer based in Seattle. You knew that, right?
No?
Boeing's based like in Denver.
I did not know
They
that.
still build a lot of planes out there, but their home office is no longer in Seattle. I don't think. Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong. They lost 2.4 billion last quarter. 2.4 billion.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
2.4 billion. We're throwing around trillions at the federal government level. Billions, nothing anymore.
That's true.
Johnny Houghton checking in. Pat Visconti, Scott Tomko, Scott Snow, Sheriff Louderback. Good morning.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Monica Jost, Amy Mundy,
Hello, Amy Mundy.
Mike Bloschke. Jennifer says they're in Kansas.
There you go. See?
Interesting.
Boeing, based out of Seattle. They left the madness.
Victoria Generals last night wrapped up their season. Good crowd on the finale, and they win it 6-4. They ran into a pretty good pitcher to start the game for Acadiana. Pitches at LSU.
Cane cutters.
Yeah, pitches for LSU.
Ben McDonald.
Mikhail, and I can't remember his last name. Holland, I want to think.
Okay.
Spindly right-hander, kind of tall, skinny, but boy, did he have him just perplexed for 6 innings, and then he got tired. A couple of guys got on base. Then they brought in the bullpen, which was a little faulty, and the Generals pulled it out 6-4. Exciting finish. It was a good ball game.
Isn't it interesting when you watch this, and no offense to the Generals, but lower level baseball compared to, say, the big leagues? I'm talking about, down the levels down from. The problems, go ahead.
Jennifer says, sorry, she must be Canadian. Chicago. Boeing's in Chicago.
There you go. Well, Chicago is in Kansas, kind of. It's
right next
all
door.
The East Coast to you from Seattle.
It's the Midwest.
But the problems that plague a team like the Generals, or in this case, the Cane Cutters, middle relief let us down, blah, blah, blah. Same problems that plague the big league level. The talent may go up, but you still have the same, the same issues. Did the Astros play yesterday? They were off yesterday.
They were off yesterday. They'll be back at it today.
What are they playing? A triple header today?
Wow.
What would you say it is? 3 5-inning games?
Yeah, something like that. Carl Big Boy Smith checking in.
Big boy.
Jeff Fonseca.
Do we know Carl Big Boy Smith? Do you know him?
I don't know Carl. I don't think.
Just wondering if I'd know him if I saw him. I hate somebody comes up to me and goes, they call me Big Boy. I'm going to be a little nervous.
BJ Nelson says, how does Brent decide who he says hello to? Lottery?
No, there's certain people, and I don't know why it is. I always acknowledge when Mike Bloschke checks in because he's a dear friend and a volunteer fireman. I always speak specifically to Sheriff A.J. Louderback. He's one of my best friends. And I always, just out of respect and deference, always respect and speak to Judge Posey. I don't know how that evolved. And I typically say hi to B.J. Nelson. You've noticed that. But I don't know how that evolved.
I think I just figured it out. You say hi to those that can either kick your butt,
right,
shoot you with a big gun, or make your life miserable. So there we go. I think that's how it goes. So for the rest of you, you don't have any of those potential impacts on Brent Carter's life, so he won't say hi to you.
Right. BJ says never. Then I never say, hi, BJ Nelson. We wax eloquent about the great folks at White Trash Services every day. 550-1826. That's BJ and Scott Nelson, family-owned business right here in Victoria, now serving Bloomington ISD. And breaking news, Ash, haven't even told you this, BJ Nelson was recently chosen to be a voter registrar. So she's passionate about getting out the vote. The timing is good. We might have an election coming up in a couple of months. And BJ wants to do a deal right here at Wade and Carter, maybe even during the show, where we're looking for someone to sponsor some kind of breakfast giveaway, fruit basket, whatever. And BJ will set up right here in the parking lot. What makes this work is you can drive through register, and leave the paperwork with her. She will turn it all in for you, and you're done. Wade and Carter would like to help get out the vote. BJ Nelson has volunteered to help us do so.
Cool.
White Trash Services, 550-1826.
Miranda Tunches checking in.
Jimbo Slice points out that BJ was also a state delegate.
Adam Daughtry says he's a big league pitcher in the toilet papering of someone's house.
Right?
He can get it up on the top of the tree is what he's saying.
Dave Garza says he just calls to listen to my voicemail.
Yeah. Paul Ebner, good morning. Callie Fromme checking in.
Hello, Kelly Fromme.
So BJ is going to help register people to vote. I think that's awesome.
As opposed to
helping people mail in their ballots.
Or go over to Skid Row.
I forgot about that one. So 4 people in LA have now found guilty. I think 2 actually pled guilty. The other 2 were found guilty. There weren't a lot of details in the story, but they were apparently rounding up homeless people on LA's Skid Row to have them vote.
Yeah, when I read that, I didn't have my readers on, and I thought it said 4 admit to LA water fraud. And I was like, water fraud? What is voter fraud? How about the other day when you sent me that deal and I forgot what it was. Oh, you had on that blue terry cloth shirt.
Yeah.
And the look on your face was just straight 80s catalog model. And you said,
so look, I was going for.
Nothing says comfy.
Nothing's as comfy as a terry cloth polo.
And I said, when I read it, what I read was nothing's as county as a terry cloth. That's county. That's basic.
Yeah. Nobody's ever used that term ever except for you.
Right. You're just county. Yeah, people know. People know. Yeah. He's just real county.
Jeremy Levitt checking in. Good morning to you. Kelly Fromme says she has the ability to make Brent's life miserable.
No, Kelly's a good listener. She's a top fan. Look at there. I don't cross her though, because she has opinions and she will share them. She's a multi-venue opinionator. So I try to stay on her good side.
Matt Cantu says the bomb diggity will help with your fruit basket breakfast. There you go. Awesome.
Hey, Matt, love that. Love to promote the bomb diggity.
Scott Sanchez checking in. Jeffrey Fonseca says, I have a Skid Row cassette. But I thought it was kind of interesting that here's 4 people charged with voter fraud. It was interesting that the story didn't tell you which party they were trying to fraudulently get votes for.
The Democrats. Can you see down there, hey, buddy, can you spare a dime? Yeah, you going to vote Republican?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Jeremy Levitt says, Ash is kind of county comfy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Jason. It's just real county,
He's up in Yakima. He's county. What the heck? I have no idea when I actually hit the mouse.
Oh, well, I said see all top fans. Let's see who's a top fan.
But it kind of gets us in. Well, let's take a break and then we'll jump into the mail voting issue.
I love a well-oiled machine. I mean, this show just runs like a Swiss timepiece.
It does, doesn't it?
Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen is your go-to tow-to. You need to get a vehicle from here to there. You have a problem. You're on the side of the road. You have a fender bender. Allen can secure the scene, make sure everybody's safe, and get your vehicle to its repair stop. 578-6300. If you've got a big rig on the side of the road, Allen can tow that. He has a depot in Refugio as well.
I can only imagine how busy Allen's was yesterday, because on my way in, not only did I have that crazy guy trying to wave down a bunch of cars, and I don't even know what happened with that. I need to try to follow up on that. Just curious. There were about 3 cars that were broken down or stopped on the side of the road and been there probably since yesterday at some point. They were all gone today. I'm assuming Allen's
the results of
played a huge role in there.
Tropical Storm Hannah ruined it for so many. We will rebuild. Allen's Wrecker Service will lead the charge. The VCS companies, Rocket Oilfield Services, and our banner sponsor, the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer reaching out to you.
Rocket were the ones that put my gate in at my house, the one that I admire every morning. It works perfectly.
You need – what I like about that, and I always tell the story that VCS does it right the first time. They put it in. They did it right. Almost immediately, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Almost immediately. And almost as immediately, they came out and said, bad battery, fixed it, problem solved.
Yeah. And that's not their fault. They buy
That's
the
right.
batteries from somebody. They're not manufacturing bad batteries like
And
Die
there
Hard
you go.
did the downfall of
Exactly.
Sears. But no, but they came out, they diagnosed the problem, and I have not had an issue with that gate ever since.
Perfection, the VCS companies, that's their goal. SCQ Building Systems, same thing. Young company, aggressive company.
564-8864. I've finally seen, there's still a few finishing touches because they've still got a ladder and some equipment there, but I'm pretty much seeing the finale of that covered patio that they built.
And those people you're stalking.
Yeah, and it's an absolutely gorgeous, sturdy looking structure.
Sure.
It's going to be nice.
Call the Helps at 564-8864. Clayton and Casey Help. They'll help you design, implement, landscape, you name it.
Buildings of all sizes, from sheds to homes, they can do it all.
Yep. Barns, barn dominiums. Furnish it all from Chesnick Furniture Company. Bobby Leon and his family, 3 generations.
They've only been doing it for 100 years.
That's it.
I think they've got a little bit of know-how.
70 years at the corner of Juan Lynn and Bridge, 116 West Juan Lynn.
And as they celebrate their 100th birthday, 50% off all furniture.
Help them do it. There's Rena Shear. Good morning, my friend.
I didn't get a chance to say hi to her, but I saw her at the ball game yesterday. I saw the back of her head as I was running down to get a starting lineup. So
Jeremy Waldchow,
yep,
another Russian
cousin. That's part of the Phoenix infiltration unit.
Right.
Tom Price, good morning to you.
He looks more Italian.
Kind of does, actually.
Yeah,
Toya Stone, I hope Toya's feeling better. She posted that she was not feeling better. She might have had the COVID. I don't know. I didn't see a follow-up, but I really hope not. But she's up early. I hope that means she's feeling better and doesn't mean that she's been up sick all night. Two ways that can go.
That's true. The COVID is a
third way. She's waking up to catch our show because she can't start her day without Wade and Carter.
A thinning of the herd via the COVID.
So a lot of talk about mail by vote or voting by mail and the potential for fraud. It seems like there's my beautiful wife, Cheryl, checking in. It seems like it seems like we're going backwards. We're trying to get people to vote. We want to make, we hear this talk about voter suppression. I'm not buying it. You can present 7 different forms of ID and go vote in Texas.
Right.
And they even tell you if you don't have one of these 7 pieces, you can find another piece. And it might even be more than 7. I don't know. I just pulled that number out, but I think it's at least 7 different forms of acceptable ID in the state of Texas to vote.
Right. There's nothing wrong with having a photo ID for voting to me. Oh, by the way, I have an announcement tonight.
Okay.
When I flipped on the tube yesterday, there was an NBA game.
Yeah.
That is pregame. All the players are wearing a T-shirt over their jersey that says Black Lives Matter. Every player, every coach, and the referees all took a knee during the national anthem wearing their Black Lives Matter T-shirt. I changed the channel. I'm done with the NBA. You will not hear me talk about NBA scores. You will not hear me talk about NBA players. I couldn't care less about a bunch of rich black men whining about slavery while they wear Nike gear made by modern day slaves. They profit off of it. They get paid huge sums of money to wear it. It's manufactured by slave labor children in Asian countries. You've heard me joke here for 4 years that you can say anything you want about the Asians. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that those Asian kids are making those Nikes. Nobody cares. But we're going to wear Black Lives Matter, whereas if you wore Asian Lives Matter on a T-shirt in China, they'd send you off to a re-education camp or kill you and your family.
Yeah, that's what they call them. They're concentration camps.
But here in America, where there's nobody in the stands. You're making a statement to nobody in person. You're going to put on a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, kneel before the game. It's a pure acquiescence to social culture, and it's a culture I will not be a part of. Goodbye, NBA. I will not miss you. Michael Jordan retired. The game sucks.
H.R. Mallory says it before the anthem, technically.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, when I turned it on, I'm just like, whatever. I would encourage you.
Welcome to my side. The NBA lost me years ago, and it had nothing to do with their stances on social issues. It had everything to do with the fact that the NBA, as a sports product, just for whatever reason, is watered down. And the Spurs played good basketball, in my opinion, basketball that appealed to me. The rest of the league, let's throw it to the highest paid player on the team and let him take 60 shots and then marvel when he scores 20 points a game because he's only making 30% of his shots.
But it could be world hunger matters. It could be teen pregnancy matters. Although NBA players in stereotype have contributed greatly to fatherless children. It could be literacy matters. So many positive ways that the NBA could use their message. But instead, they're hypocrites. And I am officially done with the NBA. I'm now shifting all of my sports that used to be watched in the NBA. I will be seeking out curling or cornhole.
There you go.
Yeah. The NBA has lost me.
Jerry Levitt says he's with me. NBA stinks.
Yep.
Jimbo Slice says he's going to go and join Johnny Houghton for a Canadian rodeo. Dwayne Payne checking in. I think I saw Johnny Houghton checking in.
Dwayne Payne said, hey, rodeo is the last real sport left in America.
Greg Garcia says the NBA talks about social justice but doesn't like to mention the abuse of Chinese children because of their industry. And let's not forget, this is a league. Was it Kyle Lowry who spoke out? It was one of the no, because he's not in Houston anymore. I think he's in Toronto. Houston Rockets spoke out. Remember that? Against the atrocities going on in Hong Kong last year when they were just ramping up. Before really the world had started to take notice of what the Chinese government was doing to the people protesting in Hong Kong, he decided to take a stand. Right before the NBA was going over there to play some exhibition games or regular season games, that doesn't matter to me because I don't care. But the Chinese government got mad at the NBA. The NBA forced everybody that might have been involved, from the player to, and I think maybe it was the assistant GM.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody involved had to issue we're sorry.
Yeah, why not we stand with Hong Kong? Why not don't kneel in the U.S., stand with Hong Kong? There's millions of people that are begging to be free, people waving American flags, people singing our national anthem. While these spoiled, rich hypocrites.
They're singing our national anthem as a sign and symbol of freedom to basically throw it in the face of the Chinese Communist government.
Right.
And we're taking a knee here.
Over a very arguable Marxist position.
Johnny Houghton asked if we saw the ESPN report that identified child abuse in NBA camps in China, where some NBA reps were, and a memo went out from the NBA instructing not to let ESPN know about the abuses.
Yeah.
Didn't see it. I didn't see it, so I really can't comment on it, but it's interesting if the NBA actually instructed their people to not talk about something like that.
Did you see, talking about talking about things, did you see yesterday with Victoria? Always a leader. Victoria was named one of 7 COVID super hotspots in the state of Texas. So you got Victoria County, and then down you've got Hidalgo and Cameron, some of the counties down along the valley, the border. And then you've got Webb County. Interesting. I said, okay, so Victoria kind of, it's stark. You're looking at the map. There's like a red state here, and then way over to the west, there's another red county, not state, county over there. And then down in the valley, they're all kind of yellow. I think, in honesty, the first wave didn't make its way south until later into the valley. But now I agree with you that the reason Victoria is a hot spot with our crossroads, and that Webb, with its proximity to, say, Laredo or somewhere over there, El Paso even, their proximity west, we're dealing with an illegal immigrant situation where folks are coming to the United States looking for health care for COVID, and they're, eating in our McDonald's, if you will, and Victoria's getting it.
Well, because healthcare down there is terrible.
I can't blame 65 cases a day on the Black Lives Matter march from a month ago. I can't blame 80 and 100 and one day 200 cases a day
because
on a bar.
Yeah.
I just don't buy that. People are out. People are not social distancing. And it is what it is. I mean, I've called it a thinning of the herd. Nobody wants to hear it. We sit there and watch the wildebeest of the Serengeti. The crocodile gets a few. The cheetah get a few. The lions get a few. People die, man. Look around. These people that are passing away are 90, 80, 95. Oh, by the way, he had cancer. She had COPD. He had diabetes. They call it comorbidity. If you've got it, stay home. Wash your hands. Quit touching people. If you don't have it, get to work and quit whining. There you have it.
Jackie Glore says she's going to Upwards sports events only if they survive COVID. All the overpaid whining pros can get a job at McDonald's for all I care.
I like it.
Jimbo Slice says he can't believe you're wearing that Astros shirt.
Really? Why?
I don't know why.
They're 3-3.
Michael Jolly checking in. Patricia Nagel. Sky says the players have to take a knee at this point. The leftists are really the only ones who buy into first world problems.
Well, yeah, how weak and sheepish, in the right term, sheep-like, do they appear when last year the NBA wasn't, football was known for people taking a knee and it was frowned upon. Now let's just all take a knee. Oh, okay. You know why? Because that'll shut them up. It's just easier if we all take a knee. It's not necessarily the way we feel, although how can you not like the love bill, the peace act? You've got to like this symbol of empathy. You've got to respect. How can you not take it? We should take a knee. Take a knee to show that we care about people. If we don't take a knee before the show, we must be racist.
And hate-filled.
Yeah, it's just the dumbest thing ever. Americans have lost their identity. We're not just Americans anymore. We've got to be gay Americans. We've got to be some other kind of American. We're all embarrassing Americans.
How hypocritical is it when you've got NBA players taking a knee for a cause that they absolutely feared when it started knocking on their door?
Right. Exactly. And the NBA basically has mandated, we're going to have a certain number of messages, Black Lives Matter, but don't you put on the back of your shirt, back the blue. Don't put on the back of your shirt, Blue Lives Matter, because that's not the point. The point is that you've got to be socially aware.
Who was the golfer? Richie, I can't remember his last name now. He was in contention up at the 3M Open this past weekend. Which just happened to be played outside in suburban Minneapolis.
Oh, Minneapolis. Wow.
And apparently he's been wearing a Blue Lives Matter wristband for years. But he was chastised on social media because how dare he wear that 20 miles from where George Floyd was killed. Just because you wear that doesn't mean you support the idiot that killed George Floyd.
That's exactly right. Support the other guys that are getting undue scrutiny over that.
And what was interesting, tried to get him to make a statement. They kept goading him, and he just said, He didn't even say it. He wrote a statement, said, I'm not talking about this. And it kind of went away.
Yeah. Well, that's golf. Golf is typically, the fan base is typically more educated. How about Nancy Pelosi? See, we didn't even talk about this. You don't even realize the content that is in here. Nancy Pelosi comes out yesterday and gives a real hearty, she's a great representative. She's all about the people. For this lady out of Minnesota named Tlaib, T-L-A-I-B.
Yep.
So Nancy Pelosi is all about her. The lady is part of the anti-Semitic squad. She is a verified, what you would call Jew hater. That's what she is. Then you got Nancy Pelosi is a huge fan of this Ilhan Omar, another anti-Semite. So Nancy Pelosi's from California, right?
Yep.
And here she comes throwing her support to these people because they're Democrats at the expense of support for the Jews. It's crazy talk. First of all, I can't believe Nancy Pelosi. How much face was she? Makes Phyllis Diller look like a virgin. How much plastic surgery has Nancy Pelosi had? Goodness gracious.
Now that you bring up that name, there is a resemblance.
Yes. It's unbelievable.
Isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, Jimbo says, leave my Jew brothers alone. I know how this story ends, people, and they're going to be here. Quit messing with the Jews.
Scott Sanchez says it's time for someone to drop Visine into the old eggs coffee.
Oh, she's a huge boozer. You got to wonder how many people in Congress really are just huge sots.
Dwayne Payne says it's also about 20 miles where George Floyd held a gun to an unborn baby while they robbed her.
Yeah. Got to take a knee for George, though. He was a good guy. Good guy.
Yeah.
John Lewis
How many time convicted felon?
Yeah.
John Lewis, I don't agree with his politics at all.
Stayed the course, though. He was resolute. He was committed, and he was an icon, no doubt about it.
And was one of those at the forefront of the civil rights movement of the '60s. Grew up in Atlanta, but you would think this would have been the one chance that the Democrats would have taken to pay tribute. If you would have turned it on yesterday in the middle of it and not being able to see what they were doing, if it was old school TV where there were no character generation at the bottom,
was on?
It became there. I mean, it wasn't a memorial. It wasn't a funeral. It was the Democrat political national convention.
Right.
I have never heard speeches and eulogies that had absolutely nothing to do with the person and everything to do about the current political climate in this country. It was ridiculous. And he hadn't been laid to rest yet, but I'm sure he would have been spinning in his grave had he been. But
what did B.J. Nelson say right above? You go up on the click. It was of note.
Was Nancy Pelosi on the Epstein plane documents? Yeah. Interestingly enough, there were about 2,000 plus documents related to Ghislaine. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. I really don't care. Maxwell and her whole legal debacle. Late last night, I heard this. So there's our weekend reading. Yeah. 2,000 documents regarding her, and I'm sure Epstein as well.
So Jimbo Slice says, in case Brent missed it, he was talking about the Astros showing their solidarity last week during the Black Lives Matter pregame warm-up. I guess he's asking, and then rightfully so, a fair question, is my support of the Astros somewhat hypocritical given my disdain for the NBA? And here would be my rebuttal. It is something for me to take under advisement. It is something for me to review. Am I being a hypocrite? Because I just like baseball a lot more than I like the NBA. I love basketball, but I don't like the NBA. I think where I'm at on this is the systemic hypocrisy of the NBA, the slave labor, the ties to China.
Well, the Astros are now wearing jerseys with a big swoosh right here.
No doubt, and a lot of the players wear Nike shoes. I need to review that because I would probably more likely forgive the NBA than also jettison baseball. It's a radio show. I'm not that passionate. I'm not like out protesting basketball. Let's don't go too far. Go Astros. You know what I'm saying. I'm like,
basketball lives matter.
Right.
That's your next stance.
All that matters. Called LeBron. He didn't return my call.
Marvin Mick, well, let's take a break. We kind of blew through the bottom of the hour.
Today's your chance to go
last chance this week, folks.
576-6015. And by the way, if you're running short on time, you can call in advance, order your food, and still dine in. 576-6015. But today's a great day to make that call about 11 o'clock this morning. Tell them you want an enchilada casserole, pick it up for the weekend. That'll tide you over.
Yeah, place your order for next Wednesday for the caldo.
Oh, so good. Veracruz. No breakfast. They don't do breakfast. They do lunch and dinner. They do it better than anybody. Enchiladas, taco salads, fajitas. But the queso, the hot sauce, the guacamole, the flour tortillas, they're just simply, those four, the big four, they're the best. They are the best. By the way, now we're putting hydrochloroquine in the queso. So now you're COVID-free as you eat the cheese. Just throwing that out there. It's not true.
Fake news.
It's not true, but it sounds
Somebody
true.
will run with it.
Razor IT Solutions. Call JP Hole.
If you got any issues, questions, riddles regarding the internet,
tell them, hey, what would you do to improve my site? What would you do to, well, he goes, well, first of all, we need to speed it up. We need to get some of this stuff off there. It's running all the time. You need to have a button for that. You don't need to have it running all the time. We need to look at who's trying to get into your website. We need to enhance your product with a pay button.
You need to become more left of center, because Google is now basically, censoring anybody who's right of center politically.
He can help you with that. He can
help
do like a Black Lives Matter.
He can craft a message for you that'll get past all the Google censorship.
This website takes a knee for anything. You can put that right on your page, and JP can help you with that. Razor IT Solutions. The Atzenhofer dealership, since 1926, Victoria's dealership. Ed Atzenhofer had a dream. He built it.
And they came.
Chevys, Cadillacs, Mazdas, Mitsubishis, all kinds. There's a brand, well, it looks brand new. There's a big kind of a gray F-250, all lifted black wheels, $68,000, but it looks brand new. That truck's almost $80,000 across town, brand new. Let somebody else take that hickey and buy a gently pre-owned car. Everybody drives a used car.
Might as well get yours from Atzenhofer.
Do it soon. We already talked about White Trash Services. Always call 550-1826. And thank you, Compadres Design, Inc., for our banners, our swag, our logo.
They're now over off Main.
Yes. Have they moved?
Yes.
That would be good for me to know since I'm their insurance agent. Thank you for telling me that. No, I knew that, folks. They moved in over there where Hang Time was. Fantastic spot. Fantastic.
Huge spot.
Great family. Love it. Hey, Norman Burgess, how you doing?
Brett Anderson checking in. Michael Jolly, and kind of a good point here, although it doesn't quite apply to me in the NBA because the product is what's killed it for me for the NBA. Michael Jolly says anyone who says they're going to stop watching sports because of kneeling is like when people say they're moving to Canada because of who wins the election.
Yeah, if I was going to move, I wouldn't move to Canada. That would be such a letdown. But I would probably move to Cabo San Lucas and get on as a I want to captain the boat, which, by the way, good luck to all the folks that are in the
Lone Star Shootout this weekend.
Yeah, I saw Tyler Dick in the newspaper today. It was on the back page. He was taking a bag of stuff. They were loading stuff onto his boat. That's Ash's son-in-law.
Yeah, good luck to Tyler.
And a super guy. And
be safe.
Really knows his fishing. Graydon's dad. That's his most important thing. He's Graydon's dad.
He is Graydon's dad.
But I don't think I'd want to be the first mate. You know, when you're on a big offshore fishing boat, there's a lot of movement, man. There's a lot of work going on when you're the guy. When you're the guy trying to get people hooked up with fish, there's a lot of work.
Jerry Levin has a good point here. Look for the fan cutout ordered for the next Astros home games of Joe Kelly's crybaby face cut out right over the Astros dugout.
Awesome.
That would be
fantastic.
Yeah. Jeremy, I think, also said we need ultimate fighting curling. Full contact curling, like UFC curling. UFCC, I think, is what he called it.
I like it.
But you know,
you put a line on the rink, and when the stone crossed that line, kind of like hockey, like there's no icing, you blue line, but when the stone crossed that line, you could run to the other end, and until the stone stops, you could just beat the crap out of somebody down there. How about that? I mean, that would be interesting.
Except it really has nothing to do with the game.
No, but it would be really cool, right? As the rock. It's not the stone.
Oh, they haven't moved yet. I saw the sign. Karen Webb says they haven't moved yet. I saw the sign today.
Well, of course they haven't. I would be on top of that as their insurance agent.
They're still at 3104 East Red River. I just assumed because I saw the sign. I hadn't seen the sign
that
before.
Building's for sale. 3104 East Red River.
Oops.
Yeah.
They're moving there soon.
Does anybody know?
Miranda Tunja says NFL is full of violent offenders. That's why she doesn't watch.
Well, it's a violent game. I always agree with that.
But there's another league that's somewhat hypocritical. You look at the issues the NFL has had with its on-the-field personnel over the years, and they haven't taken a stand for any of them. Violence against women, violence against just humanity.
Ray Lewis involved in all of those. Murder, cover-up, violence against women. There's a discount factor. Like your penalty only is definitely relative to your value to the league. Tom Brady could kill somebody. He's starting for Tampa Bay week 1. You can bet on it.
Jason Brown, chicken egg, good morning to JB.
Jonathan Houghton comes in with a paragraph.
Yeah, because have you seen our prime minister? I wouldn't move to Canada. They have locked down the borders, not because of COVID, but to stop all the Canadians wanting to leave. Well, because if they all leave, you can't. Your tax base goes way down. Yeah. So there's J Dub checking in. Jeremy Pena.
Don Nicole points out that one day we will be in Cabo. Now I tell you what, we could get like a ponga boat, and I could
and a fishing net,
and Dawn could be the first mate.
You could be. What's his name from
Gilligan?
No. From the Shawshank Redemption. The accountant.
Oh, what was his name?
I can't remember now. Andy, thank you. Andy Dufresne. And every time I say that name, it's in Morgan Freeman's voice in my head.
Every time you say that name, I picture him crawling through that sewer pipe.
So Herman Cain passed away yesterday of COVID, 74 years old.
And cancer.
Well, there are some reports his cancer may have come back. I just can't help but think. And almost immediately it became Trump's fault because he was spotted at the last Trump rally in Tulsa without a mask on, which...
Isn't that Herman Cain's fault?
Kind of,
if I'm Herman Cain and I've had cancer and my immune system is down, do I go in without a mask? I don't know. Maybe I wear a mask.
Well, but let's think about it. I mean, realistically, this thing's an aerosol. We're talking micro dot size. It goes right through the mask. I mean, let's be honest.
The best thing to do is social distance.
Yeah. But maybe Herman Cain said, you know what? I'm 74 years old. Maybe Herman knew something that the rest of us didn't, or he didn't let on. He's had stage 4 colon cancer. Maybe he knew his body wasn't exactly right, and he said, you know what? To heck with it. But to blame his death on Donald Trump is basically what many are doing. Is so stupid. And blaming it on the fact that he didn't wear a mask, well, you know what? I mean, cancer will ravage your body.
Yep.
I don't have to tell you that. I can't even imagine how compromised his immune system was after going through stage 4 colon cancer and beating the odds. But for people to sit there and blame Donald Trump and his rally, and if anything, the lack of social distancing in the picture. But what I don't get is I saw pictures of the Tulsa rally. I'm not 100% convinced that that was actually at the Tulsa rally when that picture was circulating yesterday, because I don't recall ever seeing a picture of the Tulsa rally of that many people sitting together.
That many people.
So, but here's a guy that I absolutely supported in 2012. I loved his flat tax idea. And then let's not forget, he might have been one of the original Me Too victims, if you really think about it, because they came out with baseless allegations that were never proven.
Right.
That he sexually, I don't even think it was abused, but might have had some sexual misconduct when he was head of the National Restaurant Federation or the National Association, right?
Right.
Never proved. He walked away from running for the Republican nominee. And who got it in 2012? Was that John McCain? Or was that
2012?
Yeah, who's that? Mitt Romney?
Romney.
But he walked away and it just kind of disappeared. But passed away yesterday. I liked his ideas. I liked his ideas when he was running for the Republican nominee.
Real quick reminder, just an aside in the middle of the show here. Victoria County Volunteer Fire Department tomorrow, 11 to 2, drive-through only, brisket and sausage plates, $10 out there on Hanger Drive, right there at the airport. And you can buy raffle tickets, $20 a piece or 6 for $100. You can always call Tony at 571-8664. 571-8664 for more information. Drive-through, $10 brisket and sausage plates from 11 to 2, and raffle tickets for all kinds of good stuff, all raising money for the Victoria County Volunteer Fire Department.
Clayton Meyer checking in. Good morning to you, Clayton.
Norm Burgess just screamed that they had a great rain this morning.
Yeah, we had lots of that. Peter McNally, good morning to you. Pat Visconti says, why aren't we wearing Fauci's goggles?
Yeah, I think Fauci is just a flake. He's gone back and forth. He vacillates more than most Democrats.
Joel Gomez checking in. Jimbo Slice's Alan West was friends with Herman. Here's a guy that, you look at what he did professionally. Led Burger King, oversaw the Godfather's Pizza franchise or empire for a while, brought it back from the brinks to profitability, and then led the National Restaurant Federation. Pretty accomplished man.
Yeah.
But now all his death has done is spur the mask debate.
The mask, Fauci got it right way back when he said the mask is mostly symbolic. It heightens awareness to keep your distance.
It will stop me, if I'm wearing it, from spraying my spittle everywhere when I sneeze.
Talking moistly.
But it won't stop the little bitty parts of the COVID that are going through the mask.
Is that part of that theater of the mind?
Yes.
Where if you say then people think
it's little.
Yeah. Tiny.
It's exactly it.
I'm with you because it works for me. I mean, I was like as you were saying that, I was getting smaller.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
You go smaller.
Speaking moistly.
So let me ask you, before you and Dawn go somewhere,
sure,
do you mask debate?
Well, I think I mean, it's kind of personal. I think if you're honest, most couples mask debate. You have to, don't you? I mean, you have to
at least have the discussion,
right? You just
mask, no mask, mask, no mask.
You have to masturbate.
You have to.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. Now, I mean, I've known some guys that I would say are probably champion masturbators.
They tend to be on the left.
Yeah, they're more on the left. They can give you a million reasons to wear a mask.
And then if not, they'll shame you so they can win the mask debate.
Right. Not to
They're
mention,
champion mask debaters.
but do you ever mask debate by yourself, or do you?
I think we kind of just did this morning, didn't we?
Right? Yeah, it's okay to laugh,
Yeah.
folks. It's okay. It's a Friday.
Jeremy says, as long as you're not a massive mask debater,
Right.
all is good.
A master debater. Yeah.
So
The
Trey,
master mask debater.
yeah.
Why is your hand in your pocket? Is that where you
Trying
keep
to
your
find my
mask?
mask.
Is that where you keep your mask? Wow. Is that your mask, or are you just happy to see me? Oh, folks, anything goes here. By the way, we'll take one phone call today. If you have something funny to share, if you have something enlightening to share, if you have a motivational moment for the weekend, 575-9509, we'll take the call. We're not afraid.
No.
If you're a huge leftist idiot, please call us.
That'll encourage
bring
them
them
to
in,
call.
won't it?
Yeah.
I don't know why they're so scared. I mean,
Christina West says that's why I didn't answer when you called.
we are so polite to everybody.
I'm out of coffee. We're not quite at 8 o'clock yet. Darn it.
That's odd. Ash never has 2 cups at home.
Adam Daughtry says I'm left-handed. Does that make him a masker debater?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I think sometimes when you masturbate, you have to switch sides.
Yeah, you might have been on the no mask side. Now you're on the wear the mask side.
Be on the right or the left.
Just try to see it from somebody else's perspective once.
Flip it over. See how it works.
Speaking of flipping it over, Uncle Mutt's Barbecue, that's the bender that you'd like to have the next day.
Brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, turkey, all the side dishes, the best iced tea in town. I talked to Jonathan Arterberry yesterday. Uncle Mutt's is working so hard to keep it all going for you. It's tough, man. Times are tough.
I can only imagine how tough it is.
And they're all doing drive-through, but they have the most efficient drive-through. I mean, honest to goodness, and this is nothing but a compliment. It's right there with Chick-fil-A. I'm not exaggerating. You can drive up and go, I need a half a pound of this and a pound of that, and they're cutting it as you call. As you drive around, they're cutting it, and then you're good to go. If you're the third or fourth car in line, you'll be through that line in 2 minutes.
I think one thing I think that speeds it up, they don't sit there and try to tell you what it's going to cost you at the window.
Yeah.
We'll have your total when you get there, because everybody's paying with plastic these days anyway. Nobody said
says turn that mask inside out.
So go to Uncle Mutt's today. You can get there tomorrow and Sunday as well.
Absolutely. Fantastic food, fantastic family, and a great Victoria tradition. Great Barn Design, 920-6803, 920-6803. That's Cheryl's number. Give her a call. She'll make your next event eventful. You might as well attend the party
and memorable.
Plan the party.
And to work it and to decorate it
Yeah,
and to tear it all down.
That?
Why don't just drink and enjoy it? Or don't drink and enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
Can they just get high, man? Just get high and enjoy it. I mean, what? I'm glad we're not in Colorado.
That's the new generation.
Punch a few gummies and enjoy your party, babe. Let Cheryl do it. THC absolutely won't get you high. I'm Bill Clinton. I didn't inhale or have sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. 920-6803. Cheryl is the best there is. And she plans parties. Went electrical, went generator, went services, went plumbing, went all day long. Folks, if you need solar panels with generator backup batteries and all kinds of stuff and copper wire and just wing nuts and all kinds of stuff, they got it.
Capacitors.
They've got it. 30-weight motor oil. Come on. Some ball bearings. Went is your go-to. They'll put some panels on your roof, panels on your back property. And that power now can be stored. You don't just, your ceiling fan didn't just spin 300 miles an hour when the sun's out. You can store that power in a battery backup and use it that night.
Yep.
Then, of course, they've got natural gas and propane gas, hard plumbed by a certified plumber, which is the code, generators. They test themselves. Now you've got an app to see, oh, my generator tested itself and it worked.
Power goes out. What, like 3 seconds later, power's back on.
Remember
You don't
that
have to wait.
canned Generac ad we used to do?
Yeah.
When the power goes out. So sad, gloomy. It's generator season. Reach out to them. And while you're at it, make an investment in your home that you can see and enjoy every day. Reach out to USA Concrete Coatings, 578-HOME. Charlie Garcia and his crew will come out. They'll treat your concrete. Don't worry about the oil that's there. They're going to kind of sand that down, put a little muriatic on it. Bam, it's gone. Might be a fire, but it'll be okay. And then they'll wipe all that down, put that polyurethane coating on there, come in with some flicks and flanks, and you're going to love it. It's
No ball
not
bearings.
expensive. Hey, you can do it. You can change your oil again. You can lay on your clean floor.
Make it slip resistant.
Thank you, Patrick Strauss. Yeah, it's all ball bearings these days, guys. Come on, where you been? He looked like, you know who he looked like in that scene? Fletch.
Who?
He looked like Humphrey Bogart.
I just picked up the Fletch book.
No. Could you just join us? We need you. Come in here. We got a microphone for you. Come here.
Not a chance.
Come on in.
Not a chance.
Why wouldn't he do it? I mean, it's free. We got 2 minutes left on our time.
So Trader Joe's flip-flops. Trader Ming's isn't going anywhere. Trader Jose's isn't going anywhere. Trader Giuseppe ain't going anywhere.
I'm telling you, it's in a Trader Giotti.
Oh, it's
okay?
Trader Giotti.
Come on. If I'm at Trader Joe's and I'm going to make tacos that night, Trader Jose's taco shells catches my eyes. Trader Joe's taco shell sounds like something stale.
Yeah.
I want Jose's taco shells. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's just creative advertising. It's not.
I want Ming's egg rolls. I don't want Joe's egg rolls, although I'll take General Joe's chicken.
Is it going to become passe or politically incorrect to refer to something as Mexican food?
Well, now you're culturally appropriating.
Because Mexicans eat hamburgers too. I mean, I don't get it. It's like I'm jealous that there are certain foods. When I go to Veracruz, I constantly remind Leonida, I can't make that. I can't do it. Because when Lee doesn't do much, but when Ida puts her finger in the rice, it just gives it that little love,
extra,
little caminos. It's just good, you know. She's got it. She's got the touch. I don't know.
I don't either.
I'm glad we talked about masturbating. I think it's good to get that out there and talk about it.
Well, yeah.
Everybody does it. Might as well talk about
Here's the other one we need to talk about, because I saw a report last night that with the COVID issue,
Trader Muhammad,
with the COVID issue, Major League Baseball is seriously considering a move to play nothing but 7-inning doubleheaders to get their season in and done.
I mean, why don't we just do rock paper scissors and decide who wins the World Series?
I think I was okay with a 60-game season, no asterisks beside the World Series champion. You start playing 7-inning games at the professional level.
Yep.
Now you have an asterisk beside the World Series champ.
Not to mention,
this is a game where all the stats are based on 9 innings.
And your starting pitcher still goes 5. So now all of a sudden you go starter, closer, and you're playing a bunch of extra inning games because it's going to be nothing to nothing. Unless Verlander's pitching, there could be a solo home run.
They hadn't made a decision on the 30-man roster, but if you're playing 7 innings, you don't need a 30-man roster.
Lilo.
MLBPA ain't going to go for that.
Lilo, you're missing a perfect opportunity to come in studio and tell the listeners how excited you are about our great relationship, about Wade and Carter, Magic 95.9, great partnership we have. Totally missing this opportunity to tell everybody how great we are. And at the same time, look, enjoy the new Wade and Carter background. We would love, and look, we'll give you a little airtime. You look good in a shirt that says Conjunto Gangsta on it. I love it. Tres Vatos logo forever, my friend. Join us. Join us in the Wade and Carter studio.
I think he's on. I think he's done.
Folks, do stay tuned.
Too.
Lilo's going to be in here in a minute. He's gonna play all your Tejano favorites, take your phone calls, and continue the love here at Magic 95.9. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay out of trouble.